Hello and welcome. I'm Kevin McTaggart, and this is the McTaggart Attack podcast. I'm a stand-up comedian who lives in Vermont, and my podcast is my way of giving my opinions on whatever I want. You can reach me via email, McTaggartAttack@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at KevMcT, that's KEVMCT, or you can find the Facebook page for the McTaggart Attack podcast, which is, on Facebook. That's how that works. And like I said, my podcast is my way of giving my opinions on a variety of topics, whatever's on my mind. And one thing I wanted to talk about in this episode first I want to talk about, what I should probably do is talk about what it is that I want to give my opinion on. And then I'll make my announcement after I'm done giving my thoughts on it. When I'm done with what I have to say, I'll talk about it then. Or maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't really know. I'll tell you, okay? Fuck it. I've decided I'm going to do as you know, I do a lot of podcast episodes every week. And I've decided that now this year, starting in another week or so, officially, I'm going to dedicate one episode a week, probably on Thursdays, to football. That's right. Football. I'm going to dedicate time to football. A podcast episode every week to football. Very exciting about that. I didn't think I wanted to do a weekly podcast episode about football. Because to be honest, for the past couple years, I've grown disinterested in football. Football, I used to love watching football. Just spend time, sitting in front of the TV, watching football games. But it's I felt like that love of the game that I had gone away somehow. I think there were a few things, a few topics, the whole way that the NFL has handled the concussion situation and how they advocate for player safety now, when I really think that's just bullshit and they're just trying to pander to people. I hate how they try to make the game more appealing to a wider audience by, not making the game so violent when it's inherently a violent game. And I hate how the whole Colin Kaepernick thing has been handled by the league. The fact that he's not in the league right now. I know some people who probably have given up on football solely because of how Colin Kaepernick was treated, for his protesting. Which is bullshit. But I've talked about Colin Kaepernick in other podcast episodes, so go ahead and look up that one or a couple. I think there is one actually called Colin Kaepernick, so you can hear all I have to say about Colin Kaepernick, because hopefully I don't have to talk about him again. But I think the big reason that's helped me like football again, one big reason was the NBA. The NBA free agency period. You know, the NBA took over the news. You know, the news cycles. Because it has seemed like, because it did with their free agent stories, with the free agency, and how crazy that was this year, and with the finals and how that was going. And it just dominated the sports news cycle, which was nice, because it seemed to me that like the NFL was turning into like a year-long league, you know, with the preseason, the regular season, the postseason, the draft season, the free agency season, the preseason. But it was always in the news, and it was always in the news for stupid fucking stories, like the Brady thing with the deflated footballs a couple years ago. You know, that dominated the news. That kept football in the spotlight. There's other things that have always kept football in the spotlight the past couple years. You know, mostly because the other sports have been a little bit disinteresting. But now that the NBA, I believe, is becoming more interesting, it's dominated the news cycle a bit more. It's taken some of the shine away from the NFL. So the NFL isn't just forced down your throat 365 days, 365 days, 7 days a week now. You know, it's not year-round NFL now. At least this year, which was nice. So that was a nice change this year. And with little focus on football, with a few months off from even thinking about football, or even like not having it forced down your throat for a couple months, and you not even you can ignoring it. Having me like ignore football and not really pay attention to football, you know, has been nice. And it's like, oh, this is how it's like without football, which is fine. But not all sports should be year-round things. They're seasons for a reason. Football season shouldn't be all year long. It's fucking stupid. We need a break. A vacation from football. As great as football is, you can't fucking think about it all the goddamn time. I needed a break from it, and thank God this summer the NBA gave us a break from it. Maybe even the other sports too seemed to do well. It's just, I just was able to take a break from giving a shit about football for a couple months, and then like, oh, football is coming back. Like, I'm actually kind of interested in football now. Why? Because I had some time away with it. I needed a break from football, and I've got that. And now it's coming back, and I'm interested in it again. Like, I was gonna not do my fantasy football league, and now I'm probably in 2 of them, maybe 3 or 4. I don't fucking know. But it feels good. And it all had to do with that break that I had. And I think a lot of people have. I don't know how other people feel. How did you feel about not having to hear about football for a couple months there? It felt good, right? It felt refreshing. Contact me, McTaggartAttack@gmail.com. Kev McT on Twitter, and the Facebook page for the McTaggart Attack podcast. It just really felt really fucking good. Sure, there are stupid rules that they keep adding every year for safety and shit like that, but that's not so bad. Football is still at its core the same game. But now this year I had a break from it. I took a break from it. I chose not to focus on it. There were other things for me to focus on, and then like football's back. I'm like, oh hey, football's back. Yay. I'm interested again. I think I like football again, which is great, because I didn't. It was boring, and it was stupid, and there's so many goddamn flags. So many goddamn penalties. They gotta do something about those fucking penalties all the fucking time. I'm glad that they changed the catch rule, because now I feel like there are less, you don't worry about, whether there's going to be a flag on the play or anything like that, Plus now with I'm curious to see how the instant replay with pass interference will go, but that's just another thing that they can throw a flag on, and they still have a limited amount of challenges, so I don't think it's a big fucking deal. So see that? I'm interested in football again. This is great. And it all leads to, the fact that I'll be doing a weekly football podcast. Probably on a Thursday. I still don't know what the fuck I'm going to call the episode. I may not call the episode anything. I may just do topics. I'll do a football-related topics. This week in football or something like that. Or what the football. WT football. I think I like WT football. Because I'm going to talk about NFL and college, I think. I'll dedicate time to both. To let you know, I am a New England Patriots fan in the NFL side, and a Florida State Seminoles fan on the college side. And I'm a season ticket holder to Boston College. So, that'll be my perspectives on things. But I'll try to vary it. If there's a major topic in football, either college or pro, that's pissing me off, I'm going to talk about it. I think I might do predictions, maybe the week before the season starts, or the Thursday episode when the season starts. Thursday morning, I'll do my NFL predictions episode. Because why not? Even though I hate doing predictions. Fuck that, I might not do predictions. Yeah, I'm not going to do predictions. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. But all I know is I like football again. And that's great. And you know what's also great? You guys downloading my podcast. That's fucking great too. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for downloading the podcast. I've gotten so many goddamn downloads since March. It's fantastic. I think I would not be surprised if I reach 10,000 downloads by the end of the year. It's a possibility. Which is a great possibility. But yeah, I'm excited for football coming back. Which is a feeling I haven't felt in a few years. And let's see, there are a few things I want to get off my chest. Who is it? Is it Kelly Bryant? He's the quarterback for Clemson, or was the quarterback for Clemson, who left. And there was this hubbub about Dabo Swinney not giving him a championship ring. Well, he left the team. So he didn't necessarily deserve one. And also, I heard that he didn't even say that he wanted one. Someone asked him, hey, do you want a ring? They can give me one if they want, but I really don't care. He didn't care. And yet this was a story for a week. It was the big topic. Shouldn't he get a ring? Why shouldn't he get a ring? He didn't want a fucking ring. He doesn't care about the fucking ring. But the goddamn news cycle was so goddamn boring that they made a fucking story about this. And then the whole Antonio Brown helmet fiasco and the feet fiasco. All the fucking stupid stories during the preseason, which ultimately turned into nothing. This is just a glimpse into what you're going to see in my weekly football podcast episode that's probably coming out on Thursday mornings. In a few weeks. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't even know what the fuck to call it right fucking now. And that's the bottom line if you smell what the McTaggart Attack podcast is cooking.